Hello students, welcome back to our biology class where we simplify concepts to help you learn better. Today, we are going to understand the types of pollination, a very important topic for your board exams and competitive exams too. Let's begin. Pollination is the process of transferring pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of a flower. Based on the source of pollen, pollination is mainly of two types. 1. Self-pollination. 2. Cross-pollination. Self-pollination is a type of pollination which occurs in a single flower or two flowers on a single plant. It results in inbreeding or selfing. In contrast, cross-pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from the anther of one flower to the stigma of another flower of different plants of the same species. Pollination can be further divided into three types on the basis of the source of pollination. Self-pollination happens when pollen grains from a flower land on the stigma of the same flower or another flower on the same plant. This does not involve genetic mixing, so the offspring are almost identical to the parent. Self-pollination is further divided into two types. A. Autogamy, self-pollination. It is a type of pollination in which a bisexual flower is pollinated by its own pollen grains. Offsprings are genetically identical to their parents, e.g., P. It occurs when a bisexual flower pollinates itself with its own pollen. Example, pea plant. This is a completely self-contained method. Always remember, flowers which use autogamy consist of several adaptations in the structure of a flower to facilitate this process. It occurs without external pollinating agents. When flower opens to expose its sex organs, it is called a chasmogamous. The contrivances, a condition that leads to favor self-pollination, are bisexuality, homogamy, and cleistogamy. Homogamy. When anther and stigma of a flower become mature at the same time, called homogamy. Some flowers are self-pollinated even before the opening of the flower. Such condition is called cleistogamy. Underground flowers in some plants which exhibit cleistogamy are never opened, e.g., Camelina bengalensis. Plants like Viola, Camelina can produce both chasmogamous and cleistogamous flowers on the same plant. Plants that do autogamy usually have chasmogamous flowers that open up and expose their reproductive parts. There are special adaptations that help in self-pollination like bisexuality, having both anther and stigma in the same flower. Homogamy, both mature at the same time. Cleistogamy, flowers never open, pollination happens inside. For example, Camelina bengalensis has underground cleistogamous flowers that never open. Think about it. Why do some plants have both chasmogamous and cleistogamous flowers? Interesting, right? We'll explore that in another video. B. Geitonogamy. It is the transfer of pollen grain to a stigma of a different flower produced on the same plant. It is functionally similar to cross-pollination as it involves pollinating agents, but it cannot bring about genetic variations and is only of ecological significance, e.g., Cucurbita maxima. It is similar to autogamy as pollen grains come from the same plant. This is when pollen is transferred from one flower to another flower on the same plant. Functionally, it looks like cross-pollination because it needs pollinators, but genetically it's still self-pollination. No genetic variation occurs here. Example, Cucurbita maxima. C. Xenogamy, cross-pollination outbreeding. It is a type of cross-pollination when pollen grain of one flower is deposited on the stigma of a flower of different plant belonging to the same species, with the help of pollinating agency. It generates genetically varied offsprings. Majority of flowering plants depend on the transfer of pollen grains. Virtually all seed plants need to be pollinated. Most of the food and fiber crops grown throughout the world depend upon pollinators for reproduction. The agents responsible for pollination have been grouped into two main categories. A. Abiotic agents. B. Biotic agents. Now this is the real genetic mixing. In xenogamy, pollen from a flower of one plant lands on the stigma of a flower on another plant of the same species. This brings genetic variation, which is very important for evolution and survival. Most crop plants depend on cross-pollination. For example, food crops, fiber crops, and flowering plants all need pollinators to carry pollen from one plant to another. Who helps in pollination? Pollination agents are divided into two types. A. Abiotic agents. These are non-living agents which include wind and water. Egg pollination by wind, anemophily. Most of the important crop plants are wind-pollinated. These include wheat, rice, corn, rye, barley, and oats. Palms are also wind-pollinated. Adaptations in anemophilous flowers. The flowers are small, inconspicuous, colorless, without nectar and fragrance, odor. The pollen grains are light in weight, dry and produced in large numbers to increase chances of pollination considering wastage of pollen grains. Stigma is feathery to trap pollens carried by wind currents. Let's talk about wind pollination, also called anemophily. Common in crops like wheat, rice, corn, rye, barley, and oats. Wind carries pollen from one flower to another. Adaptations in wind-pollinated flowers. Flowers are small, dull, and don't produce nectar or smell. Pollen grains are light, dry, and produced in huge numbers. Stigma is feathery, so it can trap flying pollen grains carried by the wind. So students, that was a detailed look into the types of pollination: autogamy, geitonogamy, and xenogamy, and the role of wind as a pollinating agent. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And hit the bell icon so you never miss an update on your favorite biology topics. In the next part, we'll talk about biotic agents like insects and birds that help in pollination. Till then, keep learning and keep growing.